Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back, and my name is Mina, and this is Mirkwood Homestead, where I just record and post anything and everything about what's going on here on the homestead, whether that is gardening or farming, animals, plants, cooking, just any of it. And today I want to talk about seeds of gardens past, and by that I mean my past gardens and the seeds that I really enjoy to grow, the different plant varieties that I really enjoy, and what some of my favorites are and why. And I have some seed packets here. I know you guys really like the seed videos. I also like the seed videos. Springtime comes around, and well, before springtime, wintertime comes around, and seed companies have gotten pretty slick where they start sending out the catalogs before Christmas. So gardeners get seeds for Christmas, which is awesome. But they're like, how can you say no to $1, $2, $3 packs of seeds? They're like collecting little cards. I will start off with some cooler weather veggies, and because we are coming up on that time where we might be starting some seeds, maybe some that take a long time, like cabbages. I know we're just in January and I'm in zone 6B. They've changed everything around and they're saying we're in 7A now, but I'm still a little leery of that. So I'm going with 6B. I haven't grown cabbages for a super long time, but last year I did grow 4 different kinds of cabbages, and the one that did the absolute best for me was the golden acre cabbage. This seed packet here is from In My Gardener, but this is a pretty common variety. You can probably find at big box stores. I like to get seeds from different websites. In My Gardener, Baker Creek Seed. I like Botanical Interest. I also like going to the store and seeing seeds and picking stuff out there. Here is a bok choy that also did really well for me and that I will continue to grow. All of these seeds I'm going to continue to grow until they give me a reason not to. But just like any other gardener, I'm going to also keep adding new varieties every year and trying stuff out. Here's a lettuce. This is the Marvel of 4 Seasons. So it does really good in cold climates, but it also can stand up to some heat too. The lettuce varieties that have a colored leaf, like a red leaf, tend to be a little bit more hardy when it comes to frost. This one is a kale, and it is called Black Magic Kale. I really enjoyed this one, and also the I don't know if I'm saying this right. The Nero di Toscana. Probably saying it wrong. Listen, I'm just a hillbilly from Appalachia, so I don't know how to pronounce these fancy words. But I love this variety. It grows really fast. It tastes really good. It has a really nice texture. This one stands up to just about anything. It is the Russian Red Ragged Jack kale. It has good flavor. My only complaint about this one, while I really do enjoy it, is a texture of like the curly spiky leaves. That's just a me thing. And then these turnips have done amazing for me. This one is called Market Express, and this one came from Botanical Interest. They grow super fast. They're delicious. They get really big fruits on them. And then last but not least, in our cool weather veggies, I'm sure I might be missing one or two. I'm in my big stash of seeds, and they're just spread out everywhere. This variety is a kohlrabi, a purple kohlrabi. It grew really well here. I didn't really have any pests. If I did have pests, such as maybe a little rabbit getting in my garden, they didn't really bother the bulb. They just kind of nibbled at the leaves, and so they left what I was growing it for. And these grew really large. They're beautiful. I want to add radishes to the list because I did not have a seed packet here for some of the varieties that have done really well for me, and that would be the French breakfast radishes always do really well, and the white icicle radishes do really well here. I like daikon radishes, but I haven't had the best of luck getting them up to the size that they need to get, but white icicle and French breakfast have always done really well for me. So let's talk about flowers. Now, I don't have any packs of sunflowers, but sunflowers are something that I grow every single year. I don't have a specific favorite variety. I did grow some one year that were like black, and I have no idea what they were. The seeds were given to me. I think they were like a chocolate sunflower, but I mean, they were the darkest sunflower I've ever seen. They're beautiful. I tried to save the seeds, and the seeds ended up being yellow, like the following year. Plant genetics are weird like that. Zinnias, I will grow zinnias from here until doomsday because they are beautiful. They are so easy to grow. They're the perfect cutting flower. They are cat safe, pet safe, so if you're bringing it inside, you don't have to worry about the cats chewing on them, which I have animals, so of course I have to worry about that. But I love these zinnias. They're beautiful. They one plant can produce a ton of flowers, and they come in an insane variety of colors. Next we have calendula. I love all the calendulas. This one specifically is really pretty. It's a strawberry blonde calendula. This comes from Baker Creek seed. And calendula is not only beautiful, but it is also very helpful. People use it in salves and stuff like that. Cosmos. Cosmos are also one that's really easy to grow. They bring pollinators to the garden. This one I absolutely loved because it's like a double blossom. It doesn't even really look like your regular Cosmo. Some of the ones that I had just looked like little pom-poms. They were so pretty. I grew this for the first time last year and loved it. It is a coxcomb or a celosia, and this one was beautiful, but they also come in a ton of different colors. Another flower that I'll have in my garden forever is the nasturtium. I love the fact that they are edible. You can put them in salads. I mean, every single part of the plant is edible. Even the seed pods, you can, once the seeds mature before they dry out, turn hard, you can use them as a replacement for capers. The flowers, the plants, everything on this is edible. And they're spicy and they're just beautiful. Very easy to grow, and they are cold weather tolerant, so they can't handle a super hard freeze, but they can handle some cooler weather. Another cool weather flower would be a snapdragon. Grew these from seed for the first time last year. Just one of my absolute favorite things that I grew. They were beautiful. They lasted all summer long, which surprised me considering it is a cooler weather. And the plants are still alive, and we have had like 7-degree nights, snow on the ground for 3 weeks, and the plants are still alive. Obviously there's no blooms on them, but it'll be interesting to see if they bloom again this spring. Then we're kind of moving into herb territory, which I grow all the herbs, but these are two of my favorites. Chamomile. Smells so good. It smells like apples. It does not smell like the dried chamomile tea that you get in the store. It actually smells like a green apple, and pollinators love them. They actually will just continue to reseed if the soil that's below them is conducive to that. So if you've got a really good mulched pathway and it's got some good soil under it, and these seeds sprinkle down, you're gonna have chamomile, which self-seeding, which I don't think is an issue at all. Then we have my favorite basil, and I will say every year I grow a ton of different varieties of basil, and this has become my favorite one as far as enjoyment goes. Now, I will grow like a regular sweet basil, just like a Genovese basil. That's wonderful for pestos. I kind of mix everything together to make my pestos. But this one, Tulsi or holy basil, is amazing for making tea, and I use it in fresh lemonade, and it tastes so good. And it's really, people use it for stress, anxiety, depression, that kind of thing. The smell just makes you so happy. And if there's one herb super easy to grow that I would suggest that you grow in your garden every year, I would say it would be Tulsi. It also is a very vigorous self-seeder. So you let this bad boy go to seed and they fall on the ground, you're going to have Tulsi here until the end of time. Which again, I don't think is a bad thing at all. Okay, and we're moving into like warmer weather. I'm going to start with peppers because you're going to sow those indoors way before you're thinking about putting plants outside. And these are just a few of the varieties that have done well for me over the last couple of years. Again, I will grow like the regular, like I'll get a banana pepper or a green pepper plant here and there. So this is called a Jimmy Nardello sweet pepper. The yield was really good. It was a really good flavored pepper. I enjoyed it a lot. Big Jim, again, it's another sweet pepper. I feel like those elongated peppers grew better for me. They ripened quicker. I guess, I don't know if I didn't put them out soon enough or I didn't start them soon enough in the house, but the elongated peppers just seem to do so much better for me. So that's what I'm gonna grow for the next couple of years and experiment along with it. The Corbaci, I thought that this pepper had really good flavor. I mean, it's not your traditional sweet pepper that you would think about chopping up and putting in a chili, but it had great flavor. It's just a completely different shape than what we're used to. And I'm sure that you've heard everybody rave about the shishito pepper. You can now get these in your big box stores. Usually, you would have to order these guys online. They weren't that popular, but they're becoming more and more popular each year. I really like these because the plant produces a really high yield, and I mean you're gonna be picking peppers every other day, just baskets full. These are great. I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers talk about how these are really great to blister and then dip in some sort of sauce. They are a really great snacking pepper. And then this is another elongated pepper that did well for me, is the giant Marconi. It says that it's a sweet pepper with a hint of smoke. I just thought that it had great flavor. And now I'm going to do the tomatoes last because I know that's everybody's favorite. So I'm going to move on to like cucumber / squash. This I don't have a seed packet for because we saved these seeds. But this is I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but the Gerardelle pumpkin, and it's a big green squash. They're beautiful. They get massive. They're really vigorous plants, and they make the best pumpkin pie. And they're so beautiful when you cut them open. They're just this, on the outside they're just like this dusty light green, and then on the inside you cut it open and it's just a beautiful bright orange. I had a big massive pumpkin monster one year growing these, and I highly suggest you add these to your garden if you're looking for a big pumpkin, big squash. So I have had trouble in previous years with the classic like Black Beauty zucchini, I don't know if it's pollination issues, I don't know what it is. And like years and years ago, that was what did the best for me and my family, like my parents and my grandparents. That's what they would grow, was the classic Black Beauty zucchini. However, I found, and I even tried it again last year, that trying to grow those, I only get 1 or 2 zucchini. They just didn't do good at all. So I'm like, I'm going to try a different variety. And I picked this one up in the store, and it's called a cocazella, summer squash. So it's like a zucchini. It is a zucchini, but it's kind of rigid and it's striped. It produced so well for us. They tasted amazing. Exactly what I wanted in a zucchini that the older variety just was not living up to anymore. So I highly suggest this one. I'm going to call it what I know it to be called, which is the tromboncino squash, but you can read here on the packet what you need to be looking up. The rampicante on Baker Creek seed. And I even have, and I'll show you, I have some that I let get really big and the skin harden, and I've just let them sit on my counter to see how long they would last, because these you can eat them like a summer squash. So you can eat them whenever the skins are thin, and easy to cut, just like a zucchini, or you can let them harden on the outside and you can use them like a winter squash also. It's really funny because I have some sitting on my counter still, and it is January, I think today's the 16th. Today is January 16th, so I obviously harvested these before our first frost. But here they are. Still good as the day that I picked them. So they look and feel like a butternut squash, and I'm going to have to cook one of those up and see what they taste like, or feed them to the pigs. Either way, they're not going to get wasted. I do want to see what they taste like as a winter squash. As a summer squash, they would remind you of a zucchini. Next up are cucumbers. This is my all-time favorite one. I grow it every single year. It is a Bait Alpha cucumber is the name of it, and you can get these at Baker Creek. This is a burpless variety. These are just all around best tasting cucumber. They're really good for pickles. They're super crispy. I kind of liken these to the ones that you get in the grocery store. They call them little mini baby cucumbers in the produce section. They're usually in a little saran wrapped container. These are so good. One that we tried last year that was just amazing was the Armenian yard long cucumber, which is technically a melon, but it tastes just like a cucumber, except you can let these bad boys get really, really big, and they're not going to get that weird bitter flavor that cucumbers get whenever they do get large. And the packet says to harvest them when they are 15 inches long. You can pickle them just like you can a regular cucumber. I'm going to be growing these in my garden every year, like I said, until they give me a reason not to. And of course, I'm sure that you've heard the other people talk about the silver slicer cucumber, and there is a reason for that. It is just all around a really good cucumber. It's like a light, not quite white, almost white looking cucumber, very, very, very light green. It's a really quick to ripen, a really quick to harvest cucumber. They grow really well. They have a high yield. They taste good. They're really good for pickling and eating fresh. Just a great cucumber. I like all of these way better than say a regular little pickling cucumber, like a Boston pickling cucumber. I don't care for those. They seem to get disease more. In recent years, they have not produced as well. I don't know what's going on with certain varieties. Used to produce well, and now they just don't. But let's move on to last but not least, our tomatoes. I will say, I'll start out with my favorite one is the Paul Robeson. It has the best flavor of any tomato that I have ever had. This is one that you can just eat like candy off the vine. I cannot say enough good things about this tomato. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Another one that I wasn't really, I don't know what I was expecting when I grew these, but it definitely wasn't this. This is called the Isis Candy Cherry Tomato. First off, they're way bigger than a regular cherry tomato. I'd say double the size of a regular cherry tomato. These have amazing flavor. They're kind of like two different colors, so like kind of dark pink on the top, orangish on the bottom. Beautiful, delicious, really high producing. All around good tomato. The Abe Lincoln tomato, it's done well for me in the past couple of years. This one is the triple crop tomato. I really love the high yields that you get from this. It's an all-around great slicing tomato, also really good for canning. The Dr. Witchies or Wychees, I don't know how you say it. This one is really popular on the Baker Creek website and amongst other homesteaders. for good reason, because it has amazing flavor. You get a lot of fruit. They're just big, beautiful heirloom slicers. This, I do not know how to quite pronounce it, the Anise Noir, also known as the black pineapple tomato, and it's delicious. I love green tomato varieties. I think that they have great flavor. And when you hear somebody say fried green tomato, they're not talking about a green tomato variety. They're just talking about a red tomato that has not ripened yet. But what's cool about the green tomato varieties is even whenever they turn ripe, they're still green. So it's kind of easy to walk past them in the garden and think, oh, you kind of got to check them and know what you're looking for as far as a ripe tomato goes, other than the color. Speaking of, this is I don't have a picture seed packet, but this is the Aunt Ruby's German Green, and it is a big green slicing tomato. Some of the best tasting tomatoes that I've ever gotten out of my garden, and the biggest tomato that I have ever gotten out of my garden was an Aunt Ruby's German Green tomato. Sticking with the odd color tomatoes, and I think I have some pictures of these I might be able to throw up on the screen. But this is a chocolate stripes tomato. It is one of the most beautiful tomatoes that I have grown. It is dark green and red stripes. Amazing flavor. Beautiful tomato. Really good yields. All around just a great slicer. Next up is, I think this might be Baker Creek's most popular tomato variety that they sell, and it is the Brad's Atomic Grape. I love this tomato for its very unique flavor. Not necessarily by the color. I mean, the colors are cool. What's not to love about the way that tomato looks? But the flavor is, I do not know how to describe it. It's almost like it's salty off the vine. This is a good variety to add to your garden if you're looking for something completely different that is going to make people say, wow. Next is the tigerella tomato. Now, as far as flavor goes, it's a good tomato. It's not quite my favorite as far as flavor, but this produces a lot, and I added this to the list of tomatoes that I will keep growing because the friends and family loved these. This is kind of like, I guess, a saladette. Because they're not quite big slicers, and they're not cherries. They're somewhere in the middle. They're colored kind of like a Mr. Stripey, and they produce a lot. So this is a really good tomato if you're just looking for a good snacking tomato. And then we have the Berries Crazy Cherry, which you also get at Baker Creek Seeds. And do you see that picture? That's actually what the plants look like. I've never seen another tomato plant have as many tomatoes on it. I even grew I think it was the Centiflora tomato. Hello, kitty cat. I even grew the Centiflora tomato, which was supposed to have, it says thousands and thousands of flowers. Honestly, I feel like these produced way more, and the flavor of the Berries Crazy Cherry is out of this world. They're so good. My favorite whitish yellow tomato, and definitely I would say that these top the Isis Candy Cherry for me as far as flavor goes, and that's saying something because I really like that one. But I will continue to grow these as long as they're available, and I would love to do some seed saving, but you know how it gets whenever it's August and hot, and it's hard to keep up with saving seeds, especially if you got a bunch of different varieties in the garden. Highly suggest this one. And then this is just the last seed in my pile, not for any specific reason, but it is just the regular Rio Grande Verde green tomatillo. We really like green salsa, and this has always been the best producing seed variety for me. Now, I'm sure that I have missed some. I will say that some of my least favorite seed varieties that I will not grow again. Number one is the Costaluda Genovese tomato. I'll never grow that one again. It always blights. It's always the first plant in the garden to get any sort of disease or mildew. While it does produce a lot of tomatoes, half of them are just, they're such a weird shape, and they have those, I guess they're called fluted sides, the really rigid sides. Bugs like to get in there and hide. It's just not my favorite seed variety. Other varieties, like I said, the Black Beauty zucchini, I don't think I'm going to grow that one again. I don't think I'll grow Boston pickling cucumber variety again. And those, I'm throwing those out there because those are some of the ones that you hear a lot of people talk about that they really enjoy, or they're some of the most common ones that you find in grocery store markets, like seed packets. And I don't love them. I don't love them. Some other things that I obviously didn't have seeds here for that I'm going to be growing in the garden would be sweet potatoes. I want to grow more sweet potatoes. I didn't have a green bean seed packet. However, I love the Roma Bush #2 flat green beans. I think that they're really good all around green bean. We enjoyed growing the yard long beans last year. They were really good. They were a really fun one to grow. They definitely had a different flavor than most green beans, but that's a fresh eating green bean. We grow potatoes every year and onions, and I have found that growing onions from seed has done way better for me than trying to grow them from the sets that you get at your farm stores. I don't know if that's a location thing or what it is. I will be growing onions from seeds and starting onion seeds here really soon. Also cabbage plants and stuff like that. But I think onions are going to be the first ones that I start because they can go in the ground really early as soon as the soil falls. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all about my favorite seeds that I've grown in gardens past, and I would love to hear what your favorite varieties are, or if you like or dislike some of the ones that I've picked out in this pile. And I'm definitely going to be trying some more varieties. We always add different things to the garden to try out each year. And whenever I get those in the mail, I'll be doing a seed haul video. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.